Hi everyone, I'm Alice Birolo. I'm in charge of the topic related to smart cities within Impulse ecosystem. I also supervise the strategy consulting assignments of our clients in their innovation path. And so I'm glad to talk to you about such a rich and dynamic topic that we at Impulse try to make as concrete as possible. So a few words about today. The next slide, please. So we are going to talk about innovation in smart cities, and at Impulse we have qualified smart cities through 5 axes: sustainability, mobility, resilience, citizen inclusion, and frugality. And on each of these dimensions, there are different kinds of innovation and tech that can have impact on cities. And the idea that we have at Impulse is to help startups to develop and to test their impact through and in collaboration with public sector, corporates and citizens, because each of these players have a role to play in urban development. So we are convinced that all the players in value chain can be impacted by what is happening in smart cities innovation. So all of them have the responsibility to evaluate the potential of those innovations and to collaborate to develop them. So what about today, the program? So next slide. Coming up today, we will hear first from Geraldine Gandveau from Dassault Systèmes and how the company is involved in the smart city sector. Then we will hear from 4 entrepreneurs from Belgium, from Italy, from Germany, and from Estonia. And we will have a few minutes at the end of the session for Q&A. So please do not hesitate to use the chat to type your question. So without further ado, let's start with the 8th edition of Impulse Talks dedicated to smart cities. So Benjamin, I will give you back the microphone to introduce the first speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alice. Indeed, I'm now glad to welcome Geraldine from Dassault Systèmes, who will tell us about a project conducted in the city of Hong Kong by Dassault Systèmes and another company called Arup, and also about Dassault Systèmes in general and their approach to innovation. So please, Geraldine, you can activate your camera and your microphone, and you have now 10 minutes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Geraldine Gandveau. I'm an innovator advocate and business mentor in the 3D Experience Lab, the Open Innovation Laboratory of Dassault Systèmes. Next slide. The topic of today is to propose you by smart cities to showcase how we can create smart city based on sustainability. As our ultimate goal is to provide a global environment and a smart environment, we have worked on different projects around the world, and I will propose you to discover together this video about Erupt, a collaboration between Dassault Systèmes, Hong Kong government to improve quality of life. Let's go.
In shaping a better environment for over 70 years. Working in over 140 countries, our designer provide innovative solutions to clients and the communities that we work in, bring the world's first zero carbon building and developing the first smart district in the cities of Hong Kong. Dassault Systèmes and Arup recently completed a project for the city of Hong Kong called the Common Spatial Data Infrastructure Built Environment Application Platform. Now, actually, in the 2017 policy address, the Hong Kong SAR government promoted the establishment of what they call a common spatial data infrastructure in order to make use of innovation and technology in improving the efficiency of the city operation and improving quality of life. These 10 projects comprise 4 areas. Firstly, urban planning and land use, such as we test the walkability and urban design. Second, engineering and infrastructure, such as visualization of underground space, underground utilities. And thirdly, is about the environment and conservation. Lastly, is to test some work processes, such as we establish workflow management plan. The success of this built environment application test cases demonstrate that this would be a very useful tool for the government, the private sector, and academic to collaborate in implementing the city of Hong Kong as a smart city in terms of operation and management. Arab's domain expertise translate the Dassault System platform into real value for the built environment. And the Dassault System enable Arab to provide more innovative solutions to our clients, and also in leveraging the digital twin as an asset on this 3D experience platform as a unique collaborative tools. We actually create new business model and provide new services for both the Dassault System and Arab.
Thank you very much. So to just understand exactly how we proceed to work with this global approach with different entities, I propose you to just understand who is Dassault Systèmes. Our company is quite now big. From now 40 years, we have developed a purpose-driven combining art, science and technology for a more sustainable world. We have around 20,000 people with around 200 locations around the world, and we have around 27,000 customers that can collaborate through our platform, so the 3D Experience platform. Next slide. Our presence, we have a headquarter here in Vélizy in Paris, and we have another one based in Boston and a third one in Tokyo. We plan to, of course, have a large ecosystem around the world. So we have 30% based in Europe and around 29% in Asia and 30% people based in Americas. Next slide. We have the belief that the virtual worlds extend and improve the real world. It's the next slide. For a more sustainable world. So we leverage the virtual worlds in order to improve what we can do for all the different companies. Next slide. Our purpose for Dassault Systèmes is to provide business and people with the 3D Experience universes to imagine sustainable innovation capable to harmonizing product, nature, and life. Our legacy is quite clear. For 40 years now, we begin with 3D models, with the design, and after the digital mock-ups in order to integrate all the systems, and after the PLM, so the product life cycle management, in order to understand exactly the complete progress of the product, and after we integrate the 3D Experience platform. And now, in 2020, we have integrated the virtual twin experience of human, and it's key to transform the industrial way and to catalyze the ecosystem. Next slide. Next slide. We have a clear strategy evolving from social industry experiences to human industry experiences. It's a complete global view. Next slide. To achieve this strategy, we focus on developing our leadership in life science and healthcare in order to integrate the strategic sector of the economy by manufacturing industry and infrastructure and cities. These sectors share similar development processes and sustainable needs in their effort to improve quality of air, quality of life through more affordable and precise therapy optimizing infrastructure, or better use the environment. Next slide. The 3D Experience platform is a complete platform for knowledge and know-how. So within that platform, you can find different applications to manage everything. We have application for social and collaborative way to collaborate within a team, within different partners. We have 3D modeling application. We have simulation application. We have also real-time application. And we have informed intelligence application. All these applications are connected on the same platform. We have around 13 brands. Each brands are connected together, providing an experience. So when a startup or a company wants to design at the beginning his project, they will use 3D modeling application, such as CATIA or SolidWorks. In order to proceed to visualize the simulation and the experience of a product, they will use the simulation application and Delmia application in order to anticipate and to predict the comportment of the behavior of the project. And after, they have also application for managing data and for rendering. All these applications can be used for 11 industries, such as transportation and mobility, but also industrial equipment, construction, cities and territories, business services, energy materials, and more. So all are really connected. Next slide. The platform is not only a platform for design, as you have understood, but it's also a system of operation to run business and also to have a complete building of foundation of your project. So for example, on Hong Kong or in Singapore, because we had the same approach, we worked closely with different partners. So in order to visualize in 3D a successful way to collaborate on the platform, in order to integrate private, academic sector and public, in order to operate and manage all the different goals. The government of Singapore used Dassault Systèmes as well for planning, centralize every data, but also designing the new challenges that they have to build a new ecosystem. So making this urban way living more comfortable. Next slide. You have probably heard about our last simulation that we did for hospitals, but also for the Philharmonie of Paris. It was the simulation of the COVID-19 because the propagation of the virus was a bit difficult to understand. So in different areas, we have simulated the way on how the virus move in different areas. So this scientific prediction method with virtual twin is really key to prevent damage from virus or climate change in real time. So this process can be applied in different domains, in a city, but also in different zones, so in the building, but also outside. Next slide. At Dassault Systèmes, we have the 3D Experience Lab, the Open Innovation Laboratory, where we accelerate disruptive startups, disruptive innovation, by providing them a business platform and people to positively impact society. So, next slide. Thank you. So within this lab, we have around 35 projects that have been accelerating in the lab. And we are selected this project because they worked, they have disruptive technology, and they are focused on sustainable goals defined by the United Nations. So we are supporting this project from the beginning because we select this project at early stage, and we provide them our business solutions, but also our application for design and simulation. And we connect them through an ecosystem of mentors, so people who can help them, providing them the knowledge and the know-how for developing all their innovation with a real success. So here it's a few examples of this project. Within our program, some of them are facing all the issues regarding the smart cities. So one of them is Ixen. So is the next slide. And Ixen is a solar autonomous drone that allows inspections and control in different domains and industries, such as infrastructure, agriculture, maritime, and civil safety and environment. We have also other startups such as XYT for delivery, smart delivery in the city, but also projects that are facing around the world this issue in order to think global but act locally. If you want to know more about the Dassault Systèmes and the 3D Experience Lab program, I recommend you to go through our communities on the 3D Experience platform. It's public community where you can have access. And you can go also to our website and on the 3dexperiencelab.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Geraldine, for this testimony and those concrete examples in Singapore and Hong Kong. It was quite interesting. Now let's move on to the first startups of today, and I'm glad to welcome Noman from Belgium. He will present us BrighterBins in 5 minutes. So in a nutshell, BrighterBins produces cost-effective smart sensors for municipal and commercial waste pickup. So Noman, please activate your microphone and your video, and you have now 5 minutes.
Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Noman from BrighterBins, which is a smart solution for waste collection. Next slide, please.
Yeah, there is a bit lagging, but we...
Okay. So what is the problem with waste collection? Waste collection is not optimized. Our cities are dirty because bins are picked up too late, resulting in a picture like this, where people find that the bins are full and they put the garbage around the bins. Sometimes bins are picked up too early, and this is a waste of time, resources, and money. And there is too much CO2 emission because unnecessary truck routes are happening. Do we need data analysis to solve this type of problems? Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Yes, there is a bit lagging on our side. The next slide is here.
All right. So,
okay, sorry.
So what if these bins could talk and tell the garbage collectors when to pick them up? This will save up to 40% cost. There will be less trash on the ground and reduced CO2 emissions. At BrighterBins, we have designed a solution that consists of smart sensors and a routing platform for garbage trucks. To show you what we are doing, I have a small video in the next slide. Could you please move to the next slide? Yes, so basically we found out that to solve all these problems, we install the sensors, and these sensors measure how much garbage is in the bin, and then the bin is telling to the garbage collectors when it is full and when it is empty. And based on this information, we are doing the route calculation for the garbage trucks. And we see that up to 30 to 40% cost savings are possible because of all these features that we have implemented. Now there are different types of bins around the world. We have made a universal solution thanks to the movable tunnel design. That it is a smaller design, low in price, and it fits almost all the bins. We have this movable design, so you can scan the bin, and we have installations everywhere in the world. I will explain you in the next few slides a bit more into details what we are doing. Maybe we can move to the next slide. Yes. So BrighterBins fill level sensors. So sensor work on ultrasonic technology and laser technology. It is compatible with all smart city platforms, including Cisco CKC. It is also AWS certified. The sensor has an open API, which means that it can be connected to any smart city platform. The movable tunnel design, it's a copyright protected design that we have, and because of this design, it is compatible with any type of bin. Next slide, please. On the online platform, we are using machine learning and artificial intelligence in order to predict best routes for garbage trucks. Next slide, please. Our focus today is on retrofit public bins. We see that there are 8 million public bins in Europe and North America, and this is a market of 6.5 billion euros in next 3 years. This is low-hanging fruit. That is why this is our focus today. Other market segments also include facilities such as airports, office buildings, construction waste containers, industrial waste containers, and new public bins, bin manufacturers who want to bring new bins to the market. Next slide, please. We have 6,000 BrighterBins installed in 10 different countries. Our biggest installation is in the city of Sheffield in UK, where we have 2,000 BrighterBins deployed. We are working with customers like Cisco and Philip Morris. We are deployed in cities of Hull, Delft, and Luxembourg. Next slide, please. So BrighterBins is founded by an experienced team of founders. Me and Imdad, we bring 42 years of product development, B2B sales, manufacturing, and technology experience to the team of 20 people. We have sales office in Oslo, we have sales office in Belgium, and we have an R&D center in Pakistan. If you think that every bin deserves a brain like this, join hands with BrighterBins. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Snowman, for this quick presentation. We'll have the time for maybe 2 questions. So quickly, yeah. Have you compared the CO2 emissions in the case where on bins you have your device applied, and on the case with bins that are not talking, if I could say?
Indeed. So what we are doing, the system effectively helps the garbage collectors to reduce the size of their truck fleet and the number of routes they are doing. So without BrighterBins, they are doing a lot of routes, a lot of unnecessary routes. When we implement the BrighterBins, then they are reducing the number of routes to around 30 to 35, 40% routes can be reduced by using the system. And then we translate how much fuel is normally consumed, and then we translate this into CO2 emissions. So we are doing a case study in Sheffield together with Cisco, and this application study will be published in coming months.
Okay, looking forward to it. And finally, do you have any applications in Italy?
In Italy, there is a lot of interest lately from Italy. There are some tenders coming up from Italian cities. We are working with many local partners in Italy. At this moment, we do not have an installation, but we have sent several sensors to several parties. A lot of small trials are going on. We are looking forward to our first bigger installation, which will be 1,000 BrighterBins in Italy in coming months.
Okay, great. So we also might have someone in the audience interested to know more about that. So thank you so much, Norman. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time. Yeah, okay, two people asked it. So do you have just, can you give us a range, a price range, and then we move to the other startup?
The price range of the solution?
Yeah.
So on average, we are selling the sensor at a fixed price. The average price is around 100 euros, depending upon how many units you need. And then our routing platform is around 3.9 euros per sensor per month. So the routing platform is monthly recurring price and the sensor is fixed price.
Okay, thank you so much, Norman.
Thank you.
We now move to an Italian startup, by the way. Enzo, so Enzo from Builti.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. You have 5 minutes to present your solution.
Thank you very much for your kind opportunity. My name is Enzo Castellaneta. I'm Chief Commercial Officer of Builti. Builti is an Italian startup born from a spin-out of a bigger IT company. We move in 3 people with the idea that, next slide please, engineering was a word still gray, so something that should be involved much more with ICT. We saw it because we worked side by side with the University of Bologna, and they created some methodologies of quick assessment of buildings, in particular old buildings, but also industrial buildings. You know that in Italy we have had a lot of earthquakes and also a lot of problem and troubles with also new buildings, because simply were not built as much resilient as they would be. Can you get back one slide, please? Because one back, please. Okay, thank you very much. So the application come directly from the owners, so the asset manager, the enterprise asset manager, the public administration asset managers. We started from public administration, so from schools, from any public buildings such as Venice, Bologna, Rome. They had the problem to understand where to start from, where to put money on, and what is the average cost. Then they come also energy companies such as Enel. So they were doing a lot of effort to understand where to enforce, where to ameliorate. And so they come with us and said, okay, we have to form our engineering in using a methodology, a software as a service, to very quickly assess and understand where to start from. But then after, we moved also after the Genova Bridge collapse to infrastructures. So one big partner of us, that is Gruppo Gavio, IESTM, asked us to build with them a sensor way to analyze bridges. So now we are doing a smart road project around the Ring of Rome with 170 bridges with our sensors. So it's quite interesting. Last but not least, any city has a lot of industries, chemical industries, that can have also a very important impact on the city. And also they have to very quickly assess what they have been built in 70s or 80s, and they have no more acknowledgement. We can do it very quickly in 3-5 days for each building as a service, forming 700 engineers in 2 years, and a very cheap cost, 80% less than any traditional way. Next slide, please. So we created FIBA, Fast Infrastructure and Building Assessment. We are winning prize of European Commission Seal of Excellence last year. 2 years Premio Innovazione SMAO, 2019 with Enel and 2020 with Corden Pharma, is one of the largest chemical pharmaceutical company. And then we created these modules. The modules in Builti, sorry, the modules in Builti are so software modules. We form people, so engineers, in using them, and we use them in the territory, such as Italy, but also in Egypt, in USA. We started also in Emirates, forming people using this methodology, adapting this methodology to quickly assess, to have very quickly with colored scheme reports and analysis about what we are doing. So next slide, please. The idea is to start for a very quick assessment. Do not put the technology where is not needed. Put technology means at least 3 things. 1, you have to buy. The second, you have to install. the third one, you have a lot of data. So if you do not need to put sensors on something, why? So very quickly assess, very quickly understand where to start from, and very quickly understand also if it's important to revamp the building or make it new. So next slide, please. So next slide, please. So we applied it in Bologna, the municipality of Bologna. Next slide. The municipality of Bologna has a lot of buildings, industries, bridges, roads. And so the overall idea of FIBA is understanding the resilience of the city and where to start from in a very big plan. We assessed about 200 government municipalities, 1,500 bridges, and we give back this idea in multi-year assessment and activities. About 4 million euros already achieved of financial use of this methodology. And of course, the idea is that you can use whatever engineer you want using the same solution. Next slide, and this is the end, I suppose. Sorry. So the idea is construction, Internet of Things, safety together, and assessment. Sorry. So last slide, so I can also conclude.
If
so
you want to know more about
sorry, because I saw the slide coming back on, so it was a little bit confusing for me. So the idea is we propose to our customers that are people that have to program, to revamp buildings, a very smart and useful way platform, software platform and educational platform with IoT systems to very quickly support the customers in taking decisions.
Yeah, I've lost you, but I think Enzo, you filled the gap. So thank you so much for this presentation. And if you want to know more about Builti or being connected to Enzo, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much, Enzo, again. And we'll now move to our third startup from Germany, Cleverciti. So Jakub, if you hear us, if you hear me, don't hesitate to switch on your microphone and your camera. To tell us more about your solution about parking optimization.
Hi all, my name is Jakub Królikowski. I'm responsible for sales development at Cleverciti. Next slide, please. And what Cleverciti does is smart parking. And just to showcase how important smart parking is and how big of an impact it can have on the world, you can see some numbers now on the screen. And just to keep it short, I will point out one of the most shocking numbers to me is that we spend almost 7 billion hours per year wasting time on looking for parking spaces. And that are numbers just from the US, UK, and Germany. So if we would compare it to the whole world, the number would be probably even bigger. Next slide, please. And that's why we made it our mission to provide parking space management solutions, which offer, first of all, extraordinary service to drivers, whilst minimizing search traffic and emissions, and also empowering our customers, whether that's a smart city, a smart real estate developer, or a smart corporate campus, to maximize the value of their assets. Next slide, please. And one of our success stories, which you can now see on the screen, is the city of Cologne in Germany, and especially the part of town which is called Nippes. And Cologne-Nippes is basically a city in the city, so we have a lot of residential areas, a big shopping street with many restaurants and all kind of places combined on 500 square meters with over 800 parking spots in on-street base. Which you can see on the right side, on the right-hand side, you can see a small layout of our solution. Next slide, please. And what we have done there is we have deployed our sensors and our patented Circ 360 LED displays, which you can see on the two pictures on the left-hand side, to intelligently guide the drivers to the nearest free parking space. We also have a mobile app, which is to be released basically any day. We are just doing some finishing touch-ups to it. And already the effects just from deploying the sensors and the LED displays without the app being in place are huge. What we have seen in a study we have done a few weeks ago was that we have a 40% reduction in parking search time and also that 66% of previously unused spaces, which were maybe a bit hidden, which you wouldn't find because you turned left instead of right, are now filled. Next slide, please. And how we achieved this is we have first of all deployed the Cleverciti sensors, which you can see here. They are an optical AI-based sensor, which can be mounted on existing infrastructure, typically a lamppost or a building facade. It uses edge computing to minimize the data stream and also ensure that we are in line with all the privacy laws in Europe. It's very reliable in all weather conditions. So we have installations both in extreme climates like Dubai or also in ski resorts in Canada where they get a lot of snow. And it's a very secure wireless transmission. Next slide, please. The second part, which is equally as important as the data, is to actually use that data and guide the drivers to the nearest free parking space. And this we have achieved in Cologne with our patented wraparound LED displays, which are called Circ 360. And they are located at all key decision points so that each time the driver needs to take a turn, he knows whether it's best to go straight ahead or maybe go to the left-hand side, where he will find a nearby free parking space where his car fits, and he doesn't have to just go around the block and look senselessly all around the streets to find a parking space. Next slide, please. What I just have mentioned a few seconds ago is also that we are in the midst of finishing up the app, and the app has, for me, that it's the biggest thing actually, because what you can do with the app is it has a built-in navigation feature. So if you want to go to a specific restaurant in Cologne Nippes, you just enter that restaurant's name into the navigation, and we will not only guide you to the restaurant, which Google Maps could do as well as we can do, but it will actually guide you to the nearest free parking space at the restaurant so that you arrive without any hassle in front of the restaurant nearby and don't have to look for a parking space. As soon as you finish with parking, you also get all the mobile payment options displayed so that you don't have to walk to the ticketing machine anymore, and everything is implemented seamlessly. Next slide, please. So just a few references to showcase what we already have achieved. We have over 200 installations at the moment in 20 plus countries. Some of the big names I already mentioned: Dubai, Cologne has been the case study we have looked at, Berlin in Germany, Vancouver in Canada, and we also have now a lot of deployments coming in the US. We are the leader in UK park and ride sector of smart parking with 3 very big players using our technologies. And we also use key partners all around the world to help with easing into the smart cities and also with the installation like iTron or T-Systems. Next slide, please. And basically, that's it from our side. Thank you to all the kind people at Impulse Partners for having us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us anytime. Thanks.
Thank you, Jakub, for introducing us to Cleverciti. It was quite interesting, and if people have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to make an introduction. Thank you so much, Jakub. We'll now move to Estonia for our fourth and last startup, Bercman. So I'm going to ask Mart to switch on his microphone and camera, and I'll give you 5 minutes to pitch us Bercman.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Mart Surkask. I am the CEO and founder of a company called Bercman Technologies. Next slide, please. And I founded the company in 2016 with a very clear goal, a long-term goal, to eliminate all traffic-related fatalities in the world. So it's a long-term goal, but someone must do it. So I'm very happy that I took this decision in 2016. We became active company in 2018 when we hired our first employee. We are headquartered in Tartu, Estonia, but of course we are very export oriented. We use our small country for testing and piloting purposes. And as of today, we are developing mostly mobility related products For example, we have also done a smart mobility hub product or a smart bus stop to enable on-demand self-driving buses. You saw in the previous slide. If you can go back with the one slide, please. And yeah, today we are working with very high-profile companies. For example, one of them is a company named Bolt, and they turn to us because they are developing a self-driving car. And we are most active currently developing smart infrastructure products. And they turn to us to enable communication between infrastructure and a self-driving vehicle. Next slide. Currently, we have 9 employees. All of them are very motivated to work towards the common goal to eliminate all traffic-related fatalities. And the second part of our mission is to accelerate the progress towards self-driving vehicles, because we can see from the data that if the traffic environment is fully automated, only then we can see a very, very big impact regarding traffic safety. And also our shareholders are some of the Estonian businessmen who have taken 2 companies to IPO. So we have a very good, strong business development and building experience. Next slide, please. And in order to start from somewhere, we wanted to tackle the most crucial traffic problem we can see today, which is the security of the crosswalks. Because every day people are putting themselves into danger by crossing the road. And even though the crosswalk is the place where you should do it, it is still a very, very big danger. And we developed a product we call a smart pedestrian crosswalk. There will be a video in the next slide, which you can see, and I will elaborate a little bit more. But yeah, before that, okay, let's go to the video then, if you can see it properly. So the smart pedestrian crosswalk is a product which has these backlighted signs and warning lights on the pole, but most importantly, there is this local intelligence which detects all the pedestrians, all the vehicles, and counts them, classifies them, and makes the prediction where they will be in the future. So we are currently developing algorithms and artificial intelligence to understand if there is going to be a dangerous situation. Here on the slide, you can see the situation before installation and then the situation after the installation. You can see how much more visible the crosswalk is. And there is one more video about how it looks like from the driver's perspective. And of course, we take all the data, we upload all the statistical data, all the sensor data to the cloud-based system where we provide our clients with, let's say, already processed data management. And one thing I would like to emphasize is that even though we are currently dealing with the crosswalks, our main goal is to develop systems such that in the future, all cities and streets can be as safe as they can be. So we can, for example, in the future, we want the cities, the infrastructure to be connected with vehicles and actively try to prevent accidents from happening. So basically, we are developing AI models to prevent accidents from happening before they happen. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I'm happy to have your questions.
Thanks a lot, Mart, for this introduction to Bercman and also letting us know about your future developments. If we don't have any questions, again, don't hesitate to ask them in the form that we've sent before. If we don't have any questions, we're going to move to the conclusion. Again, thank you everyone for your presentation. It was again a really interesting topic. I'm just seeing one question about your revenue in 2020. So before giving the word to Antoine from Impulse, can you let us know about the range of revenue?
Yeah, the last year was quite a hit for our revenue. We managed to squeeze out 120,000 euros for revenue. So it's, but yeah, this year we hope to quickly up it for the 500,000 euros.
Okay, thanks for this info. Thank you everyone again, and I'm happy to give the word to Antoine, partner at Impulse, to conclude this session about smart city.
Yes, thank you, Benjamin, and thanks to everybody for being with us this afternoon. I want to address a special thanks to our speaker of today, so Geraldine from Dassault Systèmes. It's always very interesting to learn from large international corporates on how they imagine smart cities. And most of all, I want to thank Noman, Enzo, Jakub, and Mart, our four entrepreneurs of today that have shown us their different views on smart cities. And I think that it was very interesting to see how digital solution can be used for different use cases in today's cities. But each time, it's at the end, it is for a better city and better environment for people living in cities. So we have learned today about waste management, about infrastructure management, about parking management, and also how to reduce fatalities on the streets. So each time it's a very interesting way to use digital solution, data management to improve efficiency in cities, and at the end of the day to improve the life of people in cities worldwide. So thank you very much to everybody for this session. Of course, I want to say again to people that were listening that if you want to know more about these startups, feel free to ask, and we will make the good connection between you. And I want to announce the next session of Impulse Talks that will be in March. And next time we will talk about smart industry. I have also to thank again our distribution partners that make it possible to have this event broadcasted worldwide. So thank you very much to everybody. And to remind you last time that you have the possibility to fill a survey that is very useful for us, because it makes us possible to understand your feedback and to see what are the different themes that you appreciate in our session and what you want to hear for the next sessions. And it is also the opportunity for you to ask for more information about the startup you have listened to today. So thanks again to everybody, and looking forward to talking to you again in March about smart industry. Thank you very much.